Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today is step 3 in the My First Wine series of videos. We have the must sitting on top of a heating pad. This is a industrial greenhouse heating pad, and it's actually keeping it right at 85, which is what the person that made the video that I'm going by said to keep this at. It's been not quite a full day. I finished up crushing the grapes and everything at about 5 last night, and it's about 2:30 right now, so it's been about 24 hours. Now I'm going to take a look and see what's going on in there and hopefully push down the must. Okay, it looks like it's fermenting, and it smells like it. Let's see what's going on in this one. After I'm done with this, I'm going to move these into my office. They need to be kept at a specific temperature, and that's the only place I can really do it. Okay, looking good. All right, now I'm going to go find a stick to push this down. I don't have a tool for doing it, so I'm going to use some kind of a kitchen utensil. Let me go get that, and then we'll punch down the must. Okay, I found this nice long-handled spoon that should do the trick. I don't think it's super important that I have stuff ultra clean right now, but that does become a consideration real soon. So I'll have to keep studying up, but I think I'm good for now. Yep, it is kind of crusty. Yep, it looks exactly like I saw on YouTube on the home winemaking channel. Not sure what the guy's name is, I'll have to find that out. But I've been watching a whole bunch of his videos. I really don't want to watch too much right away and get much further than the steps I need to do right away. But I just found out that I need to get a specific yeast nutrient for the malolactic bacteria that I need to add at some point soon, and I'm not going to really have time to order it online, so hopefully they have it at the, I believe it's called the Tiki Hut, which is the closest one to me. You can hear the water draining through that drain right there. If they don't have it there, I'll have to use some of the nutrient that I have, which I believe is a pectin. Hopefully that'll work. Okay, we got some nice bubbling action going on. So what I need to do now is I need to cut this stuff in half. It's way too long the way it is. I wanted to use one of my smaller mats, a single size mat, but we're using both of them for our bearded dragons, so I may have to get another one. I don't want to use this big old mat just to keep these two little things warm. Okay, so get the cover back on, and I'm going to cut these in half and then move this whole thing up into my office. I'm not going to show that. I will be back tomorrow or possibly later tonight. I have to punch this down. I'm going to do it probably 3 times a day, maybe 4. So I'll show that a few times and show it how it's aging. And then the next real step will be the adding of the bacteria. Okay, it is day 3, and this is the early morning punch down. The must appears to be still fermenting pretty good. I'm still waiting on a bunch of stuff from Amazon. I don't have a carboy to put this in. I don't have the hydrometer to test. I don't have a press. And I don't have the Malolactic Bacteria for the next step. Got a lot of stuff coming. And I could have gotten the carboy in town. When I was there the first time, I didn't see any, but they were all boxed up, and there was none like out on display on the floor, so I didn't think they had any, so I ordered one. That shouldn't be a problem. That's coming today, and I believe this has 2 or 3 more days before it runs dry, which means the alcohol will, or the sugar will go down to, I believe it's 1 Brix or something like that. Something like that. So what I'm going to do is today I'm going to bring this downstairs and put it back where it was to slow the fermentation down until the bacteria comes, which is the next step. It'll be getting about 50 overnight, and mid 50s, and the bacteria can handle that easily. I'll show you the chart of the bacteria, and hopefully everything will arrive in time. The biggest problem is the next step, adding the bacteria, malolactic bacteria, and the bacteria food, getting that added, because that has to be added 2 days before the end of this step. So hopefully I can slow this down a bit. Okay, what I have here is the wine yeast qualities for pretty much every yeast out there. For, I think this is for beer and wine. And the one I used, where is it? Is right here. Lalvin EC1118, and then it's French right here, Prise de Mousse, which means foam intake. I looked it up on Google. So it has the temperatures that the yeast will work at, and it's 45 to 95. So it's going to get down to 46 tonight, but the concrete where I'm putting the wine is not going to get that cold, so I'm just going to cover it with a blanket, and it'll get fairly cool tonight, but it's not going to get down to 45. Hopefully I don't stall my yeast, stop it from working, but I don't think I will. So 45 to 95, which gives me a whole lot of range. So I'm going to try to keep that way down so that it slows down the fermentation. I want to do that because I want it to keep bubbling the carbon dioxide until I can get the malolactic acid to add. I'm trying to stall this by about 2 days is what my guess is. Some of the stuff is coming today. I believe the carboy is coming today, but I don't have all of the equipment for the next step yet, so I have to stall this up. All right, I have the must moved down onto this cold floor. Let's get a temperature on the floor. It is 61.5, and this has been down here for about an hour now. We get a temperature on that. And it's hard for me to see, but 73.2, right around there. So That is at the low end of what the guy on the video says to do. He says 70 to 85, but you've seen from the chart that it can go much lower than that. What I'm going to do is speed this back up. Once I add the malolactic bacteria, I'm going to put the heating pad under it and bring it back up to 75 degrees. So this is just to slow things down, hopefully for 2 days. And the last thing I'm going to do is, I was punching it down 4 times a day. I'm going to switch to 2 times a day. And again, from the video, he says you can go anywhere from 2 to 4. So I'm going to go down to 2. And again, that's just until I get the malolactic bacteria. I plan to get that in here along with the food for it, and then raise the temperatures back up and finish up the fermentation. So that's my plan, and I'm sticking to it. I will punch this down before going to bed tonight, and I will get back with you tomorrow. Okay, it's time for the evening punch down. It is the 3rd day, and I'm trying to keep this fermentation kind of low key, but hopefully I haven't stalled it. You'll be able to tell by the amount of bubbles, I think. The temperature is 67, or the must itself is 67. I'm sure it's colder than that out here, but it's a concrete floor, so the concrete floor holds the heat. Yeah, I do believe that is a bit less bubbles, but it is definitely still bubbling, which is good. Again, I'm trying to slow this fermentation down until my malolactic bacteria arrives, and hopefully it works. Okay. It is definitely still fermenting. Still got a good amount of bubbles in there. Trapping a little bit of heat with this. It generates its own heat, so I'm trapping what it is generating with this stuff for what it's worth. It is going to be in the mid-50s tonight, so we'll see how cold this gets overnight. I don't think it's going to stop fermentation because this yeast is supposed to go down a good deal colder than what it's going to get. Also, I got the 2 carboys, so I'm ready on that front. Oh, I forgot to show you the temperature. There it is, 67.2. We'll see what it is tomorrow. I'm going to guess it might go down to the low 60s, but that should be okay. Hopefully I only have to do this for a couple days. All right, I'll get back with you when I punch this down tomorrow morning. Another update. It is day 7, and whenever I punch this down, it has a good amount of bubbles. It really seems like it's still fermenting, but every time I test the bricks, at least with the bricks meter, it comes out to about 7. And I'm supposed to wait till it's about 5, but there is a range, but they don't tell you what that range is for adding this malolactic bacteria. They recommend 5 bricks, but they said it can be a wide range of bricks. So I'm hoping that this 7, and I don't know if it's actually 7 or not, or if something is messing up the bricks readings. So I'm just going to add this. I've warmed it up. I took this out of the fridge about an hour ago, and it's basically the same temperature as the must. So I'm going to get this open, and I'm going to add about half of it to each one, stir it in, and then get this back upstairs and let it sit for 2 more days, and I'll punch it down and stuff, and then I'll press it, and we'll start going with the carboy. All right, let me get this open and we'll get it added. All right, it made a little bit of a like a pressure release, like you opened a can of soda. So I think that's from warming it up. I shook this up gently as well. Okay, it's about half. And then I'm going to stir this stuff up as well. All right, now get this put away. And stir this stuff in. You can see the bubbles coming up from the fermentation, and this bacteria causes bubbles as well. But yeah, you can see there's not many bubbles coming, so it's getting real close to the end of fermentation, I believe. Yeah, I hope I didn't mess it up, but if I did, it is what it is. Make wine again next year. Yeah, this one, well, and I stirred this up right before I came down, so that's probably why there's no bubbles. All right. I guess this bacteria likes a lot of food, and there's a lot of food at the bottom of these things. All right. And another thing that happened, my nephew got this from his father-in-law, and he's letting me use this. I think he gave it to me. I'll have to ask him on that. But it has some CO2 in it, so I can flush the bottles. And he also gave me these 2 carboys. One of these carboys was originally mine. I believe it's this one. And it had like a thick foam outer casing with it was 2 pieces, and you lift it off the top. This used to contain, I believe it was sulfuric acid. My uncle got this from work back in the 70s. This was made in 1978. It's stamped on the bottom. So this is an old one right here. All right, I'm going to move this stuff back upstairs where it's a bit warmer. And in 2 days, I'm going to press this stuff. And then we'll do a different video for that. So we're just about done with this video. So this should be day 8. Sorry for the darkness in here, but I had to take the lights out to put the drywall in. So this Actimel just came. This is the nutrient for the malolactic bacteria. I'm just going to add it into here, and hopefully it's not going to cause a problem. It says that you're supposed to add 20 grams of this for 1 gram of bacteria, and I have no idea. This gives you a liquid quantity, not how much bacteria was in it. So I think I'm just going to add this whole thing, put half in each, stir it in, and hope it doesn't ruin things. I don't see how it could, but there's always that chance. I will be pressing this tomorrow, so I got to get this stuff working on it. And all this is food for the malolactic bacteria. This is just about done with the fermentation. So I got to get this into carboys tomorrow. Stir it up good. I don't know, the bubbles right now could be from the malolactic bacteria, or it could be from fermentation, or both. Next year I'll have a much better idea of what I'm doing and have all the supplies when they're needed. I didn't have either one of the nutrients for the bacteria, and some people don't use the bacteria nutrients, so this year was just kind of a hurry up and get it done. Yeah, that's not a lot of bubbles left. So, like I said, I'll be pressing this stuff tomorrow, and today I'm going to make a video on putting together the press. I guess some people say it's really hard. I don't think it is going to be, but we'll see. So that'll end this video. So if you want to see me pressing this stuff and putting the press together and all that stuff, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you like the video and or share it, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.